Chaos.radio. Music, podcasts, entertainment.
Hello and welcome to the latest edition of NEWSWAVE, written, produced and recorded in the heart of Cornwall by the team here at Chaos Radio. I'm your host Tom Howe, and as ever I'll be guiding you through some of the insightful guests and exciting news contents that we've enjoyed across Chaos Radio this past week. On today's show we hear from Ellie Smith at Cornwall Hospice, who have launched a brand new community challenge, the Great Cornish Cream Tea, bringing a world record attempt to the Royal Cornwall Showground this September. We look back at the return of the hugely popular Porthleven Food Festival, celebrating Cornwall's food and drink scene with chef patron Jude Kereama and Sharps Brewery's Sam Lyne. From Porthleven back to St Austell, we head to Buckler's Lane to meet practice manager Darren Terry as Beacon VetCare officially open its new practice in the town. We'll also be previewing Mental Health Awareness Week with a full programme of Chaos events taking place right across Cornwall. Zara Shoesmith from the People in Mind project joins us to explain how small actions taken together can make a big difference. We're joined by Paula Pearson, chair of the Du Maurier Foy Literary Festival 2, as this year's celebration of books and storytelling gets underway. And finally, Bryna Julian speaks to two Cornish friends preparing to swim the English Channel, raising funds for Reclaim the Sea, a group supporting refugees and asylum seekers through trauma-informed water sessions.
NEWSWAVE.
But first this week, Cornwall Hospice Care has launched an ambitious new event, the Great Cornish Cream Tea, aiming to break a world record this September at the Royal Cornwall Showgrounds. Tickets went on sale this week, and Ellie Smith joined us to tell us how everyone can be a part of the fun.
NEWSWAVE.
Ellie, before we chat about this incredible world record attempt, would you mind first introducing yourself and explaining a little bit about what it is that you do at Cornwall Hospice, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So, thank you so much for the time today. My name's Ellie, as you said, and I am the Events and Challenges Partner at Cornwall Hospice. So I get to do some really wacky and exciting things in my job. I get to support all of the incredible people who take on challenges and fundraise for us. So that might be someone doing an incredible kayaking challenge, skydiving, just returned from London this weekend to support our marathon runners who have all done an incredible job. So that's really inspiring and heartening part of my role. And the other part of it is getting to put on some really fun, engaging and exciting fundraising events, all to support the incredible work that our hospice teams deliver.
Now, as one of those, let's talk about something really exciting. You've been teasing something on socials, haven't you? And have been working with Josh Widdicombe, no less. How did that collaboration come about?
Yeah, so we've had this kind of exciting event underway and planning for a little while now, and we were on the hunt for someone who could hopefully amplify it and help us to make a big splash. And we reached out to a few different people and other celebrities, and Josh came back almost immediately and was so enthusiastic about supporting us and helping. Him and his family spend a lot of time here in Cornwall. He's from Devon, and I think that local connection and their love for Cornwall and the community here, he was immediately up for helping us and has been an absolute champion with everything.
Well, I hope you taught him how to do, being from Devon, hope you taught him how to do the cream tea the right way. Let's talk about this Great Cornish Cream Tea then. What exactly is it that you're attempting, and why did you decide to go for a world record as well?
We wanted a big challenge on our hands, but so we are taking on the Great Cornish Cream Tea, which is going to be an official Guinness World Record attempt for the largest cream tea party in one location. That record's currently held in China, which is quite a strange place for it to be held, and we're really keen to bring that home to Cornwall. I guess we've taken this on and want to do it as part of our 45th anniversary celebrations. We wanted something that felt truly Cornish and truly something that will bring the community together in celebration and that people can get behind and really feel a part of something exciting and special.
Remarkable. Okay, that's incredible that in China, but who would have thought?
Yeah.
An event like this is quite bold, isn't it? If you don't mind me saying, what's the message behind it all, and what does it mean for the charity's work across Cornwall?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, obviously a key part of this for us is fundraising and helping us to continue to deliver our services in Cornwall. But it's so much more than that. For us, it is about celebrating the charity and its 45 years. But it's also about celebrating the people and the community and the supporters who are so integral to us being able to deliver our services for the Cornish community. We want something where people, like I said, feel part of something special, but also feel celebrated themselves. And I think that's something we do so well in Cornwall. We are really a community that rallies and supports one another. So we want to bring everyone together and really kind of boost our profile regionally, nationally, and allow our incredible supporters to be part of that.
Cornwall, definitely. I've lived my whole life here. It definitely feels so special, especially when the sun's come out. I was at Porthleven Food Festival over the weekend, and it feels like all of those winter storms, the winter sort of hangovers, all of those little things are all sort of, all blown away by a nice bit of sunshine. So Cornwall is such a special, remarkable place. Now, this event is going to take place on the 19th of September at the Royal Cornwall Showground. What better place? Loads of area there for you to hopefully get as many cream teas into people and as much conversation, as much awareness raising as you possibly can. What can people expect on the day, and how is it that they can get involved?
Yeah, so they can expect lots of exciting things, obviously a lot of cream teas. So we're aiming to get over 3,500 people together for this world record attempt. So they can expect a lot of other people enjoying cream teas. It's going to be down in the event centre, set up as probably the biggest tea party you'll ever see. But we'll also have lots of other exciting things going on the day. So we'll have local entertainment coming along to keep people engaged and happy whilst we're getting 3,500 people sat and served with their cream teas. But we'll also have Cornwall Hospice pop-up shop. We'll have our community services team, our clinical teams there, so people can learn more about what we do and who we are. Our lottery team are coming along, so there'll be cash prizes to win on the day, huge raffle, lots of excitement, and hopefully a lot of fun with other members of the community and our team.
Now, when your colleague Ben said, we've got something coming up at the end of the year that we might like your help with, I can't tell you what it is yet. It's really exciting. I got to say, I didn't have this in mind, but it's absolutely brilliant. I absolutely love this idea, and we're so excited for it. But as you mentioned there, it's just one of so many different ways that people can support Cornwall Hospice, isn't it? What are some of the other ways people can help raise both funds and awareness of the work that you do as well?
It's a great question because there's so many ways that people can get involved. So like I said, I've just got back from the London Marathon with our 16 marathon runners who have raised over £50,000 for the organisation, which is just absolutely incredible. There's fundraising groups that people can join where they can feel part of a community and run fundraising events together. We have a breadth of volunteering opportunities. People might assume that might just be working in one of the charity shops that we have across the county, but there's so many ways that people can get involved with volunteering, whether that's helping with maintenance or volunteering at our hospices on the welcome desks and doing administration. Whatever kind of your skills and your interests are, there's ways that you can bring that to Cornwall Hospice to really help us deliver our services. And then there's the more wacky and extreme ways. So one of our marathon runners just ran as a tractor, dressed as a tractor, just to make it even harder.
Why not?
So, but, for us, whether it's raising £10 or £10,000, the story and the motivation and the reasons that people support us are really like a shared experience, and we value every single penny and every single second of time that people generously share with us.
I think it might be a copyrighted term, but every little does help, doesn't it? Every conversation, every sort of penny in the pot, it all goes to such an amazing cause. Ellie, it's been a pleasure speaking to you here on Chaos this morning. But before we let you go, I wonder if you could just leave us with a message about what those donations and what that support really means to Cornwall Hospice. What do they help you achieve day to day, and where can listeners go to find out more information or get involved themselves?
I think in a nutshell, I mean, our slogan is making every moment matter. And that, transpires in a lot of ways, whether that's the clinical care that we're providing for the people in the hospices or the emotional care and support we're providing for their families and loved ones, but also creating that space and that time for people to make those moments, make those memories matter while they're together. And that's what people's support really allows us to do, and do really, really well. For anyone who would like to find out more about ways to support us, to get involved, or just to kind of speak to our team and learn more about us, they can go to cornwallhospice.org, and we've got all of our contact links there. Or they're always welcome to get in touch with our team and we can connect them with the right people. We have community engagement ambassadors who work across the county and are really involved with their local areas. So they can get in touch with us by email at fundraising@cornwallhospice.org as well. If people can head to cornwallhospice.org and that will link them to our event page where they can buy their tickets from there. If they check out our socials across Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, we'll be sharing links quite regularly now for people to get involved with the Great Cornish Cream Tea.
NEWSWAVE.
Okay, the Porthleven Food Festival returned last weekend, bringing top chefs, local producers and thousands of visitors, yes, I was in some of those queues, to the harbour side. We caught up with chef patron Jude, Kereama and Sharps Brewery's Sam Lyne to reflect on a fantastic weekend.
NEWSWAVE.
First of all, because people can't see you in front of me because this is radio, would you mind introducing yourself, telling me a little bit about your role as well, please?
Yeah, definitely. So my name is Sam Lyne. I work for Sharps Brewery. Been there over a decade now. So I'm a certified beer sommelier, and I run or look after hospitality, website, retail experiences at the brewery. So it's all the fun stuff really when it comes to beer. Yeah.
Amazing. We've managed to find probably the only quiet corner of Porthleven this weekend. Tell us about Porthleven Food Festival and the amazing work that you've been doing here with Sharps this weekend.
Yeah, so it has been absolutely buzzing all weekend. So, the whole town comes alive. We say it every year when we come back. That kind of the food, the suppliers, the restaurants, the people, the music. Honestly, the whole town, you can feel the vibe. It really comes alive. So we've been helping out, supporting with the chef's tables. So it's a separate tent. So they've got the chef's theatre, which is the main stage. We've got a little intimate, more table setting. And we've been running things like interactive beer quizzes. We've done tastings, private podcasts, which we've just finished. And all this tent's also being used for loads of here and loads of other suppliers. Oyster shucking, wine tasting. There was knife sharpening in here earlier. So great stuff. Just heroing hospitality and the good stuff that's going on in Cornwall. And
this is the first time you've done this here as well, the first chef's table, if you like.
It is, yeah. So the event organisers, contacted us, and we're really keen to do something. And so me and Ed Hughes, who's also a beer sommelier. There's two of us. It's a real thing in Cornwall. But they kind of pitched the idea, and we said this is right up our street. So we've got a lot of our chef friends. So we've had Mick Smith on stage just a minute ago, Jude Kereama, Hilton Espy. We just thought it was a great chance to talk about the real things about the industry, but also just to be a bit light-hearted, have a bit of fun, and also get people trying some beer as well at the same time. So yeah.
That's it, isn't it? It is a challenging environment. They prefixed that sort of podcast a second ago with, yes, look, it is challenging. We're going to try and have a bit of a serious chat, but also some fun as well, because sometimes it's so easy to escape kind of the fun of the world, because the climate out there is quite challenging for restaurant owners, for brewery owners, for people buying tickets, and even the punters as well.
Yeah, 100%. And I say that when I said about the vibe in Porthleven, I honestly mean it. You can feel it, and you've been walking around. Everyone's smiling. You've got mermaids dressed up. There's like you said, there's a lot of doom and gloom in the world, but we sometimes need to stop and just go, let's just have fun, let's enjoy each other's company. There's wonderful characters here in Cornwall, and the produce, the food, this is a lovely part of the world, and I personally feel very proud to live here, and I think a lot of people do, and we need to champion it and just sit back and go, look at the cool stuff that's happening in Cornwall, and it's just the start of the event season. We've got loads more coming up with the Lou Food Festival, which is amazing. That's in June. We've got St Ives coming up next month. So yeah, just the sun helps as well, doesn't it? The blue sky, so we're out, we're all smiling, we're having fun, and just take time to do it.
Absolutely. It's so easy to forget how incredible Cornwall was. We had 3 incredible guests there, all from different corners of the world, all saying how Cornwall has inspired them, and they've stayed here now for decades, some of them as well.
Yeah. And we're lucky to have them, so lucky to have them. We had Hilton, South African, Jude up there representing the Kiwis, and Mick Smith, obviously Australian from Porthminster Beach Cafe. But yeah, they've all chosen to pick Cornwall, and they did quite a passionate talk about produce here, and all of them were hand on heart saying, they've stayed here because the produce in Cornwall is the best in the world, they think. So yeah, we're so lucky with the seafood. We've got great farmers, and that's the wonderful thing here. When I was talking about knife sharpeners and Ellie Owens here doing wine tastings, we really do have some of the most wonderful people in hospitality in this corner of Great Britain, and it's just been fun to kind of champion it and get everyone involved and talk together as well. That's the thing.
There's so much to do out there, isn't there, as well, and there's queues absolutely everywhere, but that's okay because there's so much to enjoy, because if there's a queue for something, you can jump in on something else, and you can really get sort of hands-on, up close and personal to some quite elusive people, quite famous people as well. We said there, we talked about rare Pokemon almost, these people that are in the area, sort of, you can chat to them. And that's what's so good about events like this, that it's a community, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. I mean, Jude Kereama, he's Mr. Porthleven down here, as is Mick in St Ives and Ben Palmer at Lou. But yeah, Jude, you see Jude walk around the harbour when he gets a chance to step away from the pass and service. He's one of the most busiest men this weekend. He's been doing feast nights. We did a grape and grain with him last night for 80 people. He's running service all day. He's doing stage demos. I honestly don't know how the man does it. But so when you see him walking around the harbour, it probably takes him half an hour to go 10 metres, because everybody just wants to speak to Jude, know the cool stuff that's going on here. And the event organisers are really proud. This is one to mark on the calendar, as well as the others coming up. So it's the start of a great year down here in Cornwall for food festivals. Yeah, absolutely,
we love it. After the winter we've had and the climate we're facing, like you said, thank you for all the hard work that you're doing, because you've added another element to this already incredible festival. And yeah, I'm sure the work's not done yet. There's another afternoon and a big evening to go as well.
Yeah, a bit of wrapping up, a bit of packing down, but yeah, no, like I said, we really do enjoy doing this kind of stuff, and we feel it's really important to keep as a bigger brewery in Cornwall, to keep supporting these things, keep working with chefs. Me and Ed aren't. It's not all about sales. It's just about doing the right thing, getting people in the industry together, having a bit of fun, and helping each other out. That's what it's all about.
Amazing. Where can people find out more information about the events? Maybe they can enjoy the rest of the year and maybe start planning for Porthleven next year.
Yeah, so Porthleven Food Festival website for next year. They'll, I'm sure, straight away afterwards. It might take a day or two off, but then they'll be planning next year. One for the calendar will be St Ives Food Festival next month, which will be doing the same thing down there on the beach down in Porthminster. So that'll be St Ives Food Festival website. And then you've got Lou Food Festival as well. So a rather newer one, but with Ben Palmer's running that. They're doing great things down in Lou. It's a wonderful, wonderful town. Lou Food Festival website as well. And obviously check your socials. Follow all the chefs, and you'll see it all going on, and sharps, of course. Yeah.
Excellent. And just lastly, there is kind of a feeling of almost, I need to save pennies. I can't go out and eat something nice. I can't go out to events like this. I can't do these things because the world is saying I can't. But we heard there from different people in the industry that they're trying to change their price points and trying to make things more accessible for people. What would be your message to the general public as well? The world's sort of opened up again now after COVID, and there are opportunities out there to really enjoy some of these things that are on the menu and on the plate as well.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's all about moderation, isn't it? You know, like I say, we're blessed down here with restaurants, so I would encourage you to treat yourself every now and again and go and enjoy these fantastic plates the chefs are putting out. In terms of the festivals, you know, that's the wonderful thing we've been talking about it down here at Porthleven. You know, it's not ticketed to get in. It's not a price to get in. You know, there are options to add on and, you know, maybe, you know, treat yourself and do little bits while you're here, but to come here, it's absolutely free. You could come here, not spend a penny, walk around the harbour, take in the vibe, see everything that's going on. It's the same at St Ives, the same at Lou. You know, these are free things going on in Cornwall that a lot of people put a lot of effort into. So I would just encourage people just to head down. If you're thinking about should I, shouldn't I, check it out, because you won't be disappointed. There's loads of cool stuff going on, and I think you'll walk away feeling pretty inspired about it all.
NEWSWAVE.
Hi, I'm Jude Kereama from Porthleven. I have Koto and Kotokai restaurant, and I'm the chef patron of the Porthleven Food Festival.
And Jude, I've heard you're Mr. Porthleven as well. This must be allowing all your family and friends into your garden here in your harbour.
Well, I laugh at the Mr. Porthleven moniker, but what I did do is I started the Porthleven Food Festival, and it's so much fun. And the whole key thing about the Porthleven Food Festival, why it started, so I want to add a extra day or celebration of what is Cornish in the calendar, and we thought, you know, why not start a food and music festival? And 17 years later, it's still going.
And look at all these people here today. The harbour is absolutely alive. I heard yesterday was incredibly busy, Friday as well. What is it about Porthleven and Cornwall that's so special to you?
Well, I think for me, it's about the community in Cornwall. I mean, what we're trying to do is celebrate Cornish producers, Cornish chefs, and what we do best. And it's really about, that's what we're doing here now. We're celebrating with all my chef friends. We've been doing feasts and banquets, and I'm about to go off with my friend Tim Kendall, another chef, and we're going to go off to Kai for a roast. But it's all really about having a fun day out. There's a community park out there where we're doing tug of war, we're doing egg and spoon races, we had the mermaids out there today, there's music all day, so there's something for everybody. So I think everybody wants to come down when the weather's lovely.
There's no getting away from it. It is a difficult climate. People are facing challenges more so than in you know, a lot of people's lives that they've faced. So having a free ticket here to come down and enjoy what's going, of course there's optional extras and things as well, and you know, you can get for a little bit of money here and there, you can get involved in different experiences, but to actually have to come down for free and be able to experience what's going on here, see some of the sites as well, learn about the different producers in the area as well, and really celebrate what it means to be sort of Cornish and in the industry too.
Yes, I mean, I think that was basically it. It was about a free day for people to come and celebrate, and have, you know, we're putting on entertainment for free. If they, you know, obviously money's optional, but you know, I think that's why we've got so many people down here having a lot of fun and just mooching about. The people, you know, there's families, there's babies, there's something for everybody, and you know, it's my pleasure to get the committee behind what we do and have so many people just having a free fun day out.
There is still that, the world's sort of opened up a bit now after the lockdowns, but there is still an apprehension due to cost of living and various different other issues as well about going out and spending that money. You made a really great point here about how you're sort of changing the way you do things to meet different price points. Yes. And to give the world to these people who choose to spend their money with you and other like-minded sort of business owners in the area.
Yeah, I think, you know, the way that I've always priced my food is about value for money, because I want people to come in and feel that every penny that you spend is great value for money. But right now, like you say, there's, you know, it is a financial crisis out there. So I'm changing the way that I'm doing I guess I'm adding another bow to my string. We're getting an Airstream out the front of Kotokai, and we're going to be serving food from a barbecue, which is from price points from £10 and under. So there's something for everybody, and it's a weekly changing menu. I think it's just really important to realise that we're all in a tough time, and then, you know, as hospitality people and restaurant owners, it's our duty, if we want people to come in, we've got to change our price point. So we have got to try our best.
NEWSWAVE.
Right, you're listening to NEWSWAVE here on Chaos Radio with me, Tom Howe. Beacon VetCare has officially opened its newest veterinary practice in St Austell. The ribbon was cut by Town Mayor Councillor Colin Hamilton, and I went along to meet him, as well as practice manager Darren Terry.
NEWSWAVE.
Good afternoon, Tom. My name is Darren Terry. I am the practice manager and one of the directors of Beacon VetCare.
And Darren, we're here today opening your latest branch here in St Austell. How exciting!
It's extremely exciting. It's always a long time in the making. It's from sort of pen and paper, and the physical design to what we're seeing here today. It's quite a process. Taking account obviously of the building dimensions, but principally looking at what we need to include, and equally reflecting on, I suppose, what clients are looking for and demanding of a vet practice in the local area. So.
Absolutely, and now this is the latest of 4 branches you've got here in Cornwall?
Yeah, this is our 4th practice. So we launched Newquay. That was our first radial practice, community-based practice. That was the first. Summer Court followed in very quick succession, which is it's a community-based practice, but where we do a lot of our radial practice work, emergency care. That's where we do all our out of hours as well. So it's our hub, as we refer to it. Then PAR came on board back in October of last year, and obviously this is the next addition to Beacon VetCare. So yeah, it's very exciting from our point of view. Having a presence, I think, here in St Austell, I think there's a real interest and appetite. And I think clients are demanding more choice, within the veterinary community, and hopefully Beacons have provided that for them. So yes.
Oh, we hope so. We've had some wonderful testimonials from some of your patients and clients. So it sounds like you're doing a fantastic job, and it's nice to see a local company sort of flourishing and thriving. What is it, perhaps in your experience, that sets Beacon apart from maybe other practices and other different bits and pieces in the community?
I suppose in terms of its ownership, it's locally owned. Colin and Lizzie, principal directors, had this vision, of owning their own bricks and mortar practice, and moved from sort of peripatetic work to basically running a bricks and mortar practice. But I suppose, they saw an opportunity, certainly within Cornwall, and I think got a sense, having worked extensively throughout Cornwall, that there was a real appetite, within the public domain. And I think there's been this movement. Public weren't viewing vets particularly positively, and maybe that was as a product of what we've been seeing certainly in corporate-owned practice. Not all that corporates necessarily are bad, but I think what we've witnessed is increases in price, increases in fees, with very little change, to product and or service in those situations. So I think they saw a real opportunity and an appetite to introduce more choice in the marketplace.
Wonderful. Well, it's been greatly received by local people as well. So it's St Austell, you've done sort of the Newquay area now. Where's the next place in the empire?
It's a very good question, Tom. And I think it's fair to say that the ambition for Beacon has been to grow the practice. And that's really been borne out by, I suppose, that level of interest, that we're seeing amongst our communities. So yes, the plan will be to expand further. I can't say too much at this stage in terms of where we will see the next practice. But it's fair to say that we probably won't be stopping at St Austell.
But that's brilliant in terms of reaching more families, more animals, but also in terms of job creation and all the things that come with that as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think when I first joined Colin and Lizzie, and at that point we were still working around the kitchen table, we didn't have practices as you see them today. And I think when I joined, there was probably only 7 or 8 of us, and we're fast approaching nearly 70 staff. So yeah, 70 people, 70 families, that the business is supporting and growing. So yeah, absolutely. So yeah, supporting, and encouraging employment, certainly within Cornwall. And also, looking at, we have a very robust veterinary nursing, student veterinary nursing programme. And there's always been this appetite to see the next generation, and be involved in encouraging the next generation, a vet and or nurse, and doing what we can to support that process. So we have quite a few now that are embarking on their student nursing, hopefully with a view to becoming a fully qualified RVN here in Cornwall. And we're also talking to, we have a very extensive school programme, an outreach school programme, which one of my colleagues, Helen, who stood across from me, heavily involved with. But I think, again, raising the profile of Beacon, but equally making, kids aware, children aware that there's actually some real opportunity if they want to be, living and working in Cornwall. That veterinary is certainly an option, and hopefully we can provide them with opportunities in the future.
Wonderful. Here you are. Where can people find out more information? Where can they? I'm seeing websites, social media, phone numbers. There's stuff everywhere now, isn't it? You can't miss you.
There's no substitute for calling us, and we'd encourage all our clients to, prospective and otherwise, to give us a call if they want to come and have a chat. They're welcome to do that as well. We are really big on transparency. We got nothing to hide, and again, I think when we first launched Newkey, one of our principles was, come and have a look. Come and have a look round. We'll show you around, and that was quite alien for clients who go, well, I've never really been into the back of a vet practice before. I've never, I've always normally handed my dog to a vet or a nurse. I said, well, actually, come on in, we'll show you around. And I think that really resonated with clients. And it's something that we've always adopted, with that principle of actually come and have a look. Come and see where, your dog's going to be operated on. Come and see where they're going to be recovered in kennels. Come and see, actually, and be just see what we do in behind the scenes. So that really has resonated well with clients, and it's something that we continue to do today. So come and have a tour, come and have a look round at any of our practices, and the team will be delighted to show you, what we do, and show you the facilities. So yeah.
Wonderful. Anything you wanted to add that we might not have covered, or anything you think is important for people to hear?
No, I think we've covered all bases, to be honest. So yeah, phone us. The phone numbers are on our website, www.beaconvetcare.co.uk, or and all our numbers are there if you want to call. But again, we're in Newquay, we're in Parr, we're in St Austell, and obviously it's Summer Court. So pop in, come and say hello, and we'll happily show you around.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, Darren.
NEWSWAVE.
Right, we're going to interrupt the show now for a quick announcement about Mental Health Awareness Week, which is just now around the corner. Chaos Radio is taking action with events across Cornwall, from outside broadcasts and wellbeing walks to live music and discussions on mental health supports. Zara Shoesmith from the People in Mind project explains why collective action really matters and what it is that's going on.
NEWSWAVE.
Hi there, it's Zara from People in Mind here at Chaos. Now we're going to be taking action to implement change for a better mental health as we start the Mental Health Awareness Week beginning the 11th of May. On that Monday, we are going to be at St Austell, and we're going to be joined by Snap Fitness and Active Cornwall at White River Place, where we explore how being more active can help improve your mental health and well-being. Following on from that, on the Tuesday, the 12th of May, we're going to be in Falmouth for a wellbeing walk facilitated by Men's Walk and Talking Group. Everybody's welcome to come along. We're going to be meeting at Pendennis, the car park at Ships and Castles, at 10:30 on that Tuesday. You can come along, come for a bit of a walk, a bit of a chat, enjoy the scenery. If it's nice, you can also bring a picnic. On Wednesday, the 13th of May, we're going to be at Asda in Penryn. We're going to be joined by the wonderful guys at Healthy Cornwall, where we talk about how making healthier choices could help improve your well-being. So if you need some support around those sort of healthier choices, please do come along and say hi and chat to the guys. On Thursday, the 14th, we're going to be at Lemon Key, and it is going to be party time. Yes, party time for Mental Health Awareness Week. We're going to look at how music can help improve our mood, our well-being, and our overall mental health. I'm going to be joined by various artists who are going to be performing live for your listening pleasure on Lemon Key, including the wonderful Reese, the Night Church pianist. So if you've not yet seen Reese in action, please do come down to Lemon Key. And on Friday, we're going to have a roundup show here live on Chaos Radio. I'm going to be joined by the wonderful Nathan Hunkin as we reflect on the day, bring you some extra information on how you can help improve your mental health and well-being, and support networks available to you. So if you're around, please do join us here live on Chaos Radio from 10 a.m. Until then, take care and keep it chaos.
NEWSWAVE.
Okay, the Du Maurier Foy Literary Festival is now well underway, celebrating literary talent from across the UK and, of course, right here in Cornwall. Festival Chair Paula Pearson joined us to share what to expect from this year's programme.
NEWSWAVE.
Paula, we're delighted to welcome you back to Chaos this morning. For any of our listeners that are unaware or in the need of a refresh, would you mind introducing the Du Maurier Foy Literary Festival for us, please?
Of course, and thank you, Cheryl, for letting us come back. We're delighted as well. So the festival runs every year in May. This year it is slightly earlier, actually. So it's the 1st to the 9th of May, so over the first bank holiday. The festival is all set in the town of Foy. It's available to locals and to visitors alike, and we've got a whole host of events, including workshops, author talks, the music, the art trail as well. And yeah, we've got lots going on. I have to say, and I know I say this every year, but it is a really spectacular lineup this year. We're really, really pleased with the people that we've got coming.
The festival has become such a big draw on the events calendar, both here in Cornwall and beyond. Can you tell us a bit about how it all started and what makes it so very special?
Yeah, so we're actually in our 30th year next year. So this is the 29th year. It started in 1997, and it really began around the desire to celebrate Daphne du Maurier, who obviously lived in Foy, despite the fact that she's such a prolific author and still to this day is very, very relevant. There was nothing celebrating the fact that she lived here. And Foy has got generally a very good literary background anyway, with Quilla Cooch and others. So it began as that. It was just a little 2-day event. And then the Restormal Council, as it was, got involved and transformed it into a massive festival at the top of town, big marquees, etc. The council pulled out about 11, 12 years ago. And so now we are a charity, but everything, I quite like this now, it's all set in the heart of the town. So yes, we're still here to celebrate Daphne without a doubt. But also we want to bring people into the town because especially this year, it's been a really quiet start to the year here in Cornwall. And I think it's been really difficult for some of the businesses. So if we can bring people into town, earlier than when the season really starts going, I would love to do that this year. So the fact that it's in the heart of town, the venues are all in the heart of Foy, and people can use the businesses, the bars, the restaurants, the shops. So 1st to the 9th of May this year, and all about celebrating Daphne, but we've made it a lot wider as well.
What personally makes it special for you, and what drew you to getting involved with the Du Maurier Festival?
So I think for me, look, growing up in Manchester, I didn't really know a lot about Daphne du Maurier, if I'm honest. And then I've been coming to Cornwall since being a kid, and you learn more as you come in the literary history. And I think what makes it very special is that I love books and I love book festivals, and I'm really keen that we keep doing this and get these authors down and make it accessible to people in Foy. I think what makes it very special is, Foy is beautiful. It just is. It's a beautiful place. If you're going to go and listen to authors, what better place to do it? So I think Foy makes it very special. I think also everybody involved, apart from the festival director, is a volunteer. They're generally locals and they do a fantastic job. And honestly, some days, because it's not just the week that it miraculously happens, there's a lot to do around the festival, and it can be hard work, but the volunteers, they are so caring and welcoming. And we got great feedback last year. They said it was the best year in terms of they were so welcoming and just enthusiastic. And it does make it a very special time in Foy. The week is just wonderful. And of course, the sun's always out, obviously, maybe, hopefully.
We're not far away now, and there's yet another incredible lineup of speakers and events. Can you tell us about some of the exciting guests that you have in store, please?
Yeah, we've got, so honestly, I was looking at this earlier and thinking, I don't know who to talk about because there's just so many. Just on the Du Maurier theme, I'm really excited about this actually. We've got Daphne's grandsons, so two of Daphne's grandsons talking about, they're doing it in a very different way, and I think it will be a very in-depth and deep talk, but it's all about, it does look at some of the archives and letters and things, but it talks about the different personalities and how that translates into Daphne's writing. But I think it's really going to be a fascinating talk, and we're very honoured to have them there. On a completely different vein, we've got Andrew Lowney, who is the man who wrote the book entitled, which is about Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and his wife Sarah. Now, I've read the book, and it is a great book, but I've also heard him on the radio, and he's very forthright. He says what he thinks, so I think that is almost selling out actually. So if you want to go to that one, you need to get your tickets quickly. It's a very good one. Helen McGinn is coming back. She did the wine tasting last year. That obviously went down well, so we're doing that again this year. We've got Harriet Tice from The Traitors. So she was the barrister. She's got a book out, but I think that again will be fascinating. And we've also got a few politicians. So we've got Jeremy Hunt, but we've also got Michael Gove's former wife, Sarah Vine. Again, I've read the book and she's a lovely woman. And we've got the real stalwarts of Cornwall. So we've got Patrick Gale and we've got Fern Britton. And I should also mention Mark Commode, who's going to talk about the way that music, when you go and see films, the way that music kind of changes what you see. Again, I think it's going to be fascinating. There's just tons this year, I have to say.
Sounds like you've got an incredible lineup. Now, Daphne du Maurier has such a strong link to Foy. For anyone new to the story, can you give us a short overview of her life and how the festival celebrates her legacy, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Daphne's story is fascinating, actually. She's so inspirational. She first came to Cornwall on holiday, and then the family later bought Ferryside, where they still live, actually. So it is across the river, but it is a personal family home. And she stayed off and on there till I think about 1943. I'm always really worried about getting this wrong. And she wrote about the fact that Foy would be her salvation, and she clearly loved the town. She made it at home, and many of her books are set in and around Foy. My favourite book is her first, A Loving Spirit, which is in Porthleven. And of course, she lived in Mennabilly until I think the early 60s, and that was the inspiration for Mandalay and the famous Rebecca. And there are still people in Foy who remember seeing her on a daily walk through Foy, which is just lovely. This year we have some walks focused on Daphne du Maurier's Cornwall, and actually I think that is a great way of learning about du Maurier. It's great to sit in a room and talk, but it's also great to get out there and see the places that inspired her and learn about her. And like I say, we've got the grandsons as well, and we've got some reading groups, and one of them is The House on the Strand, which is that whole one that's kind of like time travel, which is a fascinating book. But I think, she's still incredibly, apparently she's one of Taylor Swift's favourite authors, and I think her favourite book was Rebecca. I could have got that wrong, but I know Taylor Swift is a fan. But she's so relevant today, and she's so important to Foy. So I think it's really important that we carry on celebrating her.
The festival always seems to bring the community together in such a special way. How would you say that impacts Foy and its residents?
This year, I have to say, it's been... So this is my first year as chair, and I've never been a chair before, so it's been a learning curve. But what has absolutely sustained and absolutely been heartwarming are the volunteers. I'm always talking about them to the point where I don't think they listen anymore, but they are brilliant. But B, the local businesses and the community of Foy. There is always somebody who wants to help. There's always somebody who will approach you on Town Quay instead of say, I've had an idea. Some of the businesses, the Old Bank, the Yacht Club, they're all wanting to get involved and do things with us. And sometimes it's absolutely no benefit to themselves. And I really do hope that people come and they come into Foy and they use all the businesses this year. So we're very lucky in Foy. We've got so many independent shops. We've got great places to eat. We've got the beautiful harbour. I really hope that the businesses see a real benefit, because this festival, it's absolutely about celebrating Daphne. It's absolutely about bringing people like Andrew Lowney to Cornwall. But it's also about helping the businesses and hoping that they benefit. It is a really special time, and I really hope it helps everybody.
Paula, it's been great speaking with you. There are so many different ways to get involved and support different events, isn't there?
NEWSWAVE.
And finally, 3 friends from Cornwall are preparing to swim the English Channel to raise funds for Reclaim the Sea. Bryna Jordan spoke with Mills and Flo about their motivation and their connection to the water.
NEWSWAVE.
I met a young boy on holiday when I was little, on a family holiday, and he had swum the channel as part of some kind of challenge or something with friends or a school thing, and it always stuck with me. And in my head, I was like, I want to do that one day. Then I moved down to Cornwall, met the lovely Flo and Jemima through sea swimming, so through a mutual friend, and it was just going for dips together, basically. That's kind of how our friendship formed and grew. And myself and Jemima were on a sea dip one day, and I turned to her and said, Jemima, have you ever thought about swimming the channel? And then she was like, yes, a lot. And then it kind of spitballed from there. I think Jemima then went into work to see Flo, because Flo and Jemima worked together. I think you said she ran up to you at your desk and was like, do you want to swim the channel? We're putting a team together. Yeah, and it just kind of went from there, really.
Flo, what was your immediate reaction when Jemima ran to you?
Well, I guess quite the opposite to Mills. I'd never thought about swimming the channel before. And I don't know, I think for a while I'd been looking for like a sort of challenge and something to train for, but I hadn't really put much more thought to it than that. And then Jemima came up to me and proposed the question, and I was just like, yeah, sounds great, why not? But I think for all of us for a long time that sort of like optimistic denial kind of lasted for quite a while, and now sort of reality's hit. But yeah, it's very exciting. I think we're as excited as we were when we first signed up, so that's good.
You're not just doing this for fun. Reclaim the Sea is at the heart of all of your fundraising efforts. Flo, could you explain a little bit about what the charity does and why your work is so important?
So Reclaim the Sea provides trauma-informed surf, swim and stand-up paddleboard lessons to people that have experienced sea trauma, mainly refugees and asylum seekers, often people who have had traumatic journeys to reach the UK, or people who have been kind of rehoused in cities or towns that are coastal communities, and they have no access to the ocean and like the amazing resource that it is that we are all so lucky to have access to. It's really about increasing people's access to the sea and helping people create ocean communities that can have such a massive impact on our mental and physical well-being.
Amazing. It almost kind of mirrors your story, all of your stories a little bit, where you've created this community through sea dips. Camilla, what does it mean to you to be able to swim for such a great cause?
Oh, it's amazing. It's so nice to think, one, that you can see, I mean, the videos and the content that Reclaim put out, it's really amazing and beautiful to see the transformation for someone that the ocean is a place of trauma and fear, and then to go through this whole sort of 6-week program and at the end of it just be incredibly overwhelmed that now this is a place they can go to for the complete opposite, you know, what we all get to use it for, which is, you know, a place to reset and a place of kind of healing and to feel calm. And that's most people's kind of, I think, experiences of the sea. We think about it, you know, people go on holiday to the coast, and to see that transformation happen for people that take these water therapy courses with Reclaim is really amazing and a really good motivator, because I think when probably things are going to get tough, or when we're out doing our sea swims in the middle of winter in the Baltic conditions at the moment, you kind of got that thought in the back of your mind, and you know, you think we're doing this for us, but we're also doing it to, you know, help other people be able to benefit and change their lives, essentially.
We were talking about, and you mentioned their kind of relationships with the ocean. Slightly touched on it earlier, but how has sea swimming shaped your own lives, and how does that connect to the message that you're trying to share?
The sea has always been somewhere that I've sort of gone to reset and kind of get a sort of mental calm that I don't really get anywhere else. And I think I've kind of, you know, loved the sea and all activities to do with the sea throughout my life, but particularly in Falmouth, moving to Falmouth, it was somewhere that I really found community. And some of my best friends now are people that I've met through swimming, or that our relationships have built through swimming. I think for me, it kind of is a real like place of happiness, both within myself and that I share with other people. And if through what we're doing we can, promote that through the work that Reclaim the Sea does, but also inspire other people to get in the sea, and build that connection with the ocean and with each other as well, then that would be amazing.
Absolutely. I personally, I'm the biggest advocate for cold water swimming and cold water dipping. I love to do a sauna swim. I don't think I'm going to go across the channel anytime soon. I can just kind of, where I live in St Austell, I can just kind of make it around the rock at Carlisle Bay and then come back again. Camilla, how has sea swimming shaped your life, and how does it connect to the message that you're trying to share?
I was from sort of North London, Hertfordshire area, and had a pool round the corner from where I lived, where I was growing up. That pool has now sadly closed because of a lack of funding. I was a lifeguard there. I always swam in the pool and didn't really think too much of it. I think just because it was around the corner, it was just naturally sort of what I got into. And then I moved to Australia for a bit. And I just kept up with my swimming. And it wasn't until I moved to Cornwall sort of later on in life that I joined a sea swimming group, and it kind of clicked. And I was like, oh, swimming is something that I've done consistently throughout my life, but actually is really important to me. And I hadn't, some people's is running or kind of that release. And it kind of clicked in Cornwall that was a real sort of, like Flo was saying, a mental reset, and was kind of my escape and something that made me feel really happy. Kind of moving to Cornwall, not knowing anyone, then making friends of all ages as well, which I think is really nice. So the sea swimming group, shout out to Shore Swim. I met a lot of different people from different age groups there, which was really nice. I then joined the Gilly Surf Lifesaving Club as well. And that was a really nice kind of introduction to more different sports on the water, the whole sort of rescue boarding. I then got my beach lifeguard qualification through the club. Yeah, it was just, I'd met so many different people from different age groups, and just really was like, oh, this means a lot to me actually. And it's really nice that I found that, and kind of feel like you kind of find your people, don't you, as well, through that sort of shared connection and shared love. And when you turn to the person that you decided to go for a cold water swim with and look at them and say, why are we doing this? This is mad. But you do it, and then you feel great, and you're like, oh, that's why we do it. Me, Flo and Jemima are always like, you never regret a swim. You never regret a swim. No matter how hard it feels getting in, you always feel great afterwards. And yeah, I love it.
So let's talk training. What does the training schedule look like, and how are you preparing, not only physically but mentally?
Yeah, good question. Well, I think so. At the moment, we're focusing more on pool swims because it's so very cold in the water. But we're doing 2 or 3 pool sessions a week, and then trying to get a longer sea swim in at the weekends, and just acclimatizing to the cold and trying to slowly build that up. Once the water starts to get warmer, we'll keep building it and transition from the pool to the sea until nearly all of our sessions are kind of more sea based. The mental side, I think, is even more of a challenge. Honestly, we are very lucky in that we're doing it as a 3, so we have one another to lean on. And I think that's kind of my biggest mental motivation at the moment, is that every time I feel like I don't want to do it, or I don't want to get in the sea, I just think, well, I can't let Mills and Jemima down, so I've got to do it. So yeah, I think for me that's really what's keeping me going at the moment.
One of the things that we are going to have to mentally train for is probably starting in the dark. So because it takes so long to do the swim, it's likely that you might start, and depending on tides, you might start at 12 a.m, 1 a.m, 3 a.m, 4 a.m. So we're lucky that we have access to the sea. I know a lot of people that train for the channel don't live in coastal areas. So that's something, I think that mental fear of the unknown will really become apparent when it's pitch black. And then the kind of no wetsuit. So for those people that don't know, the Channel Swimming Association, one of the rules is that you can't have any neoprene whatsoever. So you'll just be swimming in your swimming costume. So I think luckily for us, we're doing it in September, where fingers crossed, hopefully the sea would have warmed up to maybe its warmest point. Because we're doing a slot on, one of us will be swimming, two of us will be on the boat, and then we take it in turns. So I think another thing we'll kind of have to practice is that keeping warm and getting your body used to the fact that you're going to do an hour of intense exercise, then have 2 hours off, and then repeat that 6 or 7 times. We've got a swim camp booked with an organisation that tries to emulate the conditions that you'll face on the channel, being with a boat alongside you. You also have to have a 2-hour cold water swim signed off before you're allowed to take part in the actual swim. So I think that we're looking forward to that. That's in May, and that's kind of our first sort of big milestone, I think, with training both mentally and physically.
And finally, Mills, can you please remind us how much money you're hoping to raise, and how can listeners get involved and support you all?
So we are really hoping to raise £10,000, and that seems like a massive target, but we've got a while to get there. We've got till September, and if anyone is in the Cornwall, Falmouth area, we will be hosting lots of fun fundraising events in and around Falmouth, such as pub quizzes, boozy bingo nights, so do keep an eye out for those. You can check out our crowdfunder page, so that's on crowdfunder.co.uk/Beyond the Boys.
NEWSWAVE.
Okay, that's all we've got time for on this week's edition of NEWSWAVE. A big Chaos Radio thank you to Ellie Smith from Cornwall Hospice, Jude Kereama from the Porthleven Food Festival, Sam Lyne from Sharp's Brewery, Darren Terry from Beacon VetCare, Paula Pearson from the Du Maurier Foy Literary Festival, and to Mills and Flo fundraising for Reclaim the Sea. And as ever, a final thank you to you for listening and helping support local journalism to thrive. To catch up on all our coverage, as well as to check out our extensive back catalogue of interviews and shows, do head on over to chaos.radio. And remember, if you have a local news story that you'd like to share with us, email news@chaos.radio or search Chaos Radio UK across socials. NEWSWAVE has been produced and presented by me, Tom Howe, and is a Chaos Radio production for the Cornwall Community Media Network.
NEWSWAVE.
Chaos.radio. Music, podcasts, entertainment.